It's Jensen.
The way I play Deus Ex Mankind Divided might not be the same way you play it. When I play Adam Jensen, I avoid conflict, drink all the alcohol I find, and stop bad guys from doing terrible things by releasing pheromones into the air and then asking politely. But every obstacle in the cyberpunk world of Mankind Divided has multiple solutions, provided you've unlocked certain abilities, and the game rewards you for achieving things with your own personally preferred method, no matter what that may involve. For conflict, there are more than enough tools for a direct approach. A variety of lethal and non-lethal guns, grenades, and ammo which fire and explode wonderfully, and helpful cybernetic augmentations that can give you temporary buffs like heavy armor or slowing down time. Alternatively, there are robust stealth mechanics that let you slip quickly from cover to cover, see enemy sightlines, or straight up turn invisible for a while. You could also use hacking skills and have fun taking advantage of the game's futuristic setting, turning sentry robots, automated turrets, and the environment against aggressors. But no matter how you decide to go about solving a problem in Deus Ex, there's always a thrill when you succeed, and the game dishes out experience points no matter which actions you take. This means killing enemies is as satisfying as slipping past them without raising suspicion. Punching through a wall is just as fulfilling as stealing a keycard and using the door. The great thing is, there's no superior way to complete a task. Mankind Divided also introduces a handful of new augmentation abilities for Jensen on top of those introduced in the previous game, Human Revolution. Some of these new augs are more interesting than others though. Remote hacking, for example, is an invaluable tool for disabling automated obstacles at a distance, and the Icarus Dash is a great tool for discreet traversal. However, the Tesla, Peps, and Nanoblade abilities achieve similar effects to some of the game's more conventional weapons. They stun and kill enemies from a distance. There are some advantages to using them, but most of the time I wish I'd spent points elsewhere. Mankind Divided continues with the series' portrayal of a cyberpunk dystopia, with a focus on the politics around people with cybernetic implants and the subsequent implications on the definitions of humanity. The plot involves countless government bodies, corporations, security forces, underground resistances, the Illuminati, and the events of Deus Ex frame suspicion on literally every organization and individual it introduces. This makes it impossible to trust any one character other than Jensen, as he attempts to find evidence revealing the motives and masterminds behind a number of terrorist acts. Deciding which organization to aid and which to deceive during pivotal plot moments is grueling because everything is so unyieldingly grey. But the lack of a clear antagonist or driving purpose can lead to temporary disillusionment, with no one enemy standing in the crosshairs for too long. The upside to this is that Mankind Divided doesn't feature the ill-received boss battles that appeared in Human Revolution, and remains purely as a series of increasingly challenging infiltration and investigation scenarios, all of which can be solved in the manner of your choosing. The world of Deus Ex is an easy one to get completely absorbed in. The city hubs, all based in Prague, are where you'll spend most of your time, and are stunningly well realized. The streets are full of life and bold neon advertising. The futuristic buildings are constructed among old-world European architecture and dilapidated housing and make the city believable. You'll revisit locations and walk the same routes regularly, gaining an intimate knowledge of the streets and structures, and this knowledge is incredibly useful and satisfying to draw upon later in the game as new situations arise. One hub is a stunningly claustrophobic and oppressive multi-level slum filled with ramshackle apartments and dense marketplaces which maybe just want to stop every few feet just to soak it all in. Spaces are filled with character, densely packed with discoveries to make about its inhabitants, and are exceptionally curated with subtlety. You might say, push some unremarkable boxes on a shelf aside to pleasantly discover that someone has hidden some rainy day cash behind them. You might also notice that despite his constant, over-the-top, broody demeanor, Adam Jensen absolutely loves eating colorful, sugary cereal. Additionally, a portion of the game's side quests are not explicitly marked, and are only found by going out of your way to talk to certain people you may have otherwise run right past. Mankind Divided also includes an asymmetrical online-only competitive mode called Breach. Breach uses the first-person combat, stealth, and remote hacking mechanics of Deus Ex in brief, visually abstracted challenge missions with a focus on both score chasing, speedrunning, and beating other players. The tone of Breach is very different to the main campaign, with the emphasis not so much on the breadth of options available to you, but taking the path of least resistance. After playing through the main story campaign as a pacifist, Breach felt like it gave me much more license to experiment without consequence, racing around like a maniac, shooting non-human enemies in the face, and causing general chaos as I tried to climb the speedrun leaderboard. As you progress, new conspiracy stories arise, and unlocking the details requires you to successfully collect gems in particular missions. These are interesting to take in, but feel out of place within Breach. But, tonal confusion aside, Breach is still a pleasing way to hone your skills with Deus Ex's action mechanics. Deus Ex Mankind Divided refines and reinforces the defining foundations of the series. It creates challenging situations and gives players the tools and flexibility to deal with them in a multitude of ways, all within an absorbing cyberpunk world. Although it's not a significant departure from Human Revolution, Mankind Divided is still a uniquely fulfilling experience, and one which feels rare in games today.